Hey, Robbie.
Hey Shane, how you doing?
Good, man. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you as well.
Give us a little bit about a background about you, some accolades. Feel free to brag a little bit and just kind of tell us your story of how you got to where you are now.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I coached and taught school for 21 years. Loved what I did. Loved working with kids. That was a passion for me. Playing ball. I played college baseball growing up.
Where'd you
When I
play?
got into, I played at Bruton Parker College, a little NAIA school here in South Georgia.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, the year I left, they won the national title, so I missed out on a championship ring by 1 year.
My freshman year, I played at a junior college in Arizona called Yavapai. We lost in the
Mhm.
national championship game. My junior year, I was at Nebraska Omaha, and I got injured, and I left the school to rehab and come back to Colorado, and they won the national championship.
Oh my God, man,
Heartbreaking,
that's
right?
crazy.
Like,
That is so sad, man. I'm telling you.
yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but I was like, this is too
No, you're
deep.
fine. Cool. It's when I say the wildest, craziest story you'll ever hear, this is probably going to be it. Dominic Fraser Roofing, our owner, him and Sarah, met Dominic through a mutual friend of mine that I went to college with at Georgia Southern, where I graduated from. And he come down to my property fishing and duck hunting for a weekend. So, he comes down. Dom's one of these guys that kind of stays to himself, but, we meet, we talk, and this and that. And he asked me, he says, hey, you think you'd like to play in a golf tournament with me one day? He knew I liked to play golf and everything. So I says, yeah, it sounds good. He says, I sponsor one in Metter every year. I said, man, that's where my mom's originally from, is Metter. That's crazy. That was an hour from where I live. He says, all right, I'm going to put us in it, put you in it. You're going to play with our team. I said, cool. I know nothing about this golf tournament. We get down there and I walk up and I'm like, holy heck. It was my uncle's memorial golf tournament. My mom's brother was a sheriff's officer for 30 something years down in Bullitt County, and he was killed in the line of duty. And I didn't even know they had a memorial golf tournament for my uncle every year. So we're sponsoring this big golf tournament, Fraser Roofing. I'm just down there playing. They asked me to get up and speak at it because I hadn't seen that side of the family in a long time. So, we get home with Dom, and Dom's like, man, I think you'd be good at this. I said, dude, I coach 24/7. Football is just 7 days a week. It's between that and then going right into baseball. I said, man, I don't have the time. And he says, well, let's start by your house. Let's check it out. Y'all had some hail through here this past year. He says, let's check out your house, see if you had any hail. So we got home and did an inspection on my house that same day. And he says, look, he says, if we get this approved, he says, I'll either give you the commission or I'll give you $250 referral fee for every house you could send my way. And hey, it's just a little thing to say, something to put a little extra dollars in your pocket and get up some roofs in this area going. I said, okay. We get my house. It was denied at first, did a reinspection, got it approved. He comes up with these two checks, and one was about $2,400 and one was $250. And of course, he gives me both of them. And he says, "I want you on board." And I said, "I think I can do this." So
Wow.
I worked from October to December that year. Sold about, just went to all my coaching buddies, all my defensive coordinator, my offensive coordinator, all my assistant coaches, teachers. Started putting cards in their teacher boxes in every
Mm.
every school. Started putting cards in there. Just networking, learning the business. Didn't know a thing about roofing. Dom hadn't even trained me yet. I'm just going out and putting all the stuff in there. So Dom comes down, does inspections with me. I do about 300 that year, maybe toward from October to December. Next year,
Wait a minute,
I do
300 total roofs?
three no $300,000 in sales
Oh,
from like
got it.
October to December that year, and kind of
Right.
part time as I was teaching. So then the next year, COVID hit, and when COVID hit, it allowed me to actually work from home, do it on Zoom, and I was able to get out and do a lot more running around because I could Zoom, and give assignments and stuff pretty easily on my phone.
Hmm.
So I was kind of double dipping, to be honest with you. That year I sold, I think, about $850,000 worth. My second year, still kind of part time. And I told Dom, I said, I think this is what I want to do full time. And he
Hmm.
says, just give it a lot of prayer. Give it a lot of prayer, and before you make a rash decision. He says, you got, 21 years in, and 4 years and you can retire. And I said, I know, but I just feel like I can really do this and do it with a passion and be able to give back and be able to provide for my family more than I've ever been able to. So I took the leap of faith, a lot of prayer, and my third full time year, I did 1.6 million in sales, and this past year, almost 1.8. I was like 1.79, I think, for the final total for the year. I average around anywhere around 170, 160, 175 houses a year normally.
Man, that's awesome. You're kicking ass, and I bet that was a tough decision for you and your family because you've obviously done what you originally were passionate about, and I'm sure you still are with
Yeah.
teaching, mentoring, empowering kids, right? Watching them grow up. And I love and appreciate that you double dipped. You did both, and you were like, "Hey, man, I'm really good at both of these." Now, what had you choose fully to go from a passion, which is admirable, honorable, like you make a difference for all these people, to like, look, I think I'm going to switch careers.
Yeah, honest, I'm just going to be honest with you because that's just who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was money. I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
to sit here and, it was money at first. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
look, you can make this. And then it just automatically changed. It was like when you get into it and it's no different than coaching, because when I'm able to go in and sit down with a 72-year-old homeowner and I get to really explain to them and show them pictures of everything wrong with their roof, or how somebody messed up their roof, their last contractor come in and it was just poor workmanship, or it was,
Mm-hmm.
just whatever it may be. Hey, you got this damage on there, or you got this issue going on. But I promise you, we're going to take care of it. We're going to fix you. And I'm going to show you every single picture when I get done to show you the work that I did to make sure you're completely satisfied. So it was going from working with kids to working with adults. No different. It's kind of the same aspect. I do have one of my kids that I coached in middle school and high school that works for me. I brought him on board,
Awesome.
and he just had his first sale this past week. So he was my project manager. I started selling so many that I just started paying him $250 a day. He's making $1,000 to $1,250 a week, and he would go out and do all my project managing for me. And I hired him, go full time with me, and then now I've got him on sales. He's loving it. He's a kid that didn't have a dad in his life, never had a father figure, and when I was coaching him, I always had to go over to his house and straighten him out a little bit, and just one of those deals, man. We live in this area down here in Georgia is a lot of poverty down here in the area we live in South Georgia, and just a lot of people don't come from a lot, and it feels good to be able to give back to kids and help kids out and get them on the right path.
Yeah, man, that must be so fulfilling to be able to give that. I mean, coaches, mentors, like working in sports, some of the top performers in our industries are ex-athletes or ex-coaches or ex-leaders or mentors. A lot of people I talk to are like big brothers, big sisters, and you can't explain the feelings you get and the experience of life you have when you take somebody under your wing and you're able to speak words and show them in your actions of like how to live an honorable life of dignity and integrity, and then they do it. And then they get to see it. And then it's because of you, like you sourced that sort of experience of life. When I was in Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the guy I was mentoring went to jail and he's in a gang and drugs, and I was like, I failed that kid. Like I gotta, like anybody that I'm in front of now, like I make sure of, if they're looking up to me, I'm like, I've gotta, like it's going one direction, and it's going for you and for whatever's best for your life. But that experience in business is my favorite thing, is watching people's growth, watching them be proud of themselves. Like that's better than any money. And money's something that we should talk about, I think, because everyone has some sort of belief about money. And you said the first thing you made your decision was money, right? So you could provide for your family. I've got weird stuff going on about money. I feel guilty about it. I spend it when I shouldn't, and I don't spend it when I have it, which is odd behavior in and of itself. Mm-hmm. But what do you think money provides for Pete Roofer? Yeah.
No doubt. For me, I'm 45 years old. Okay. I have a wife. My son is 23. I just fired him, from our company. I just couldn't depend on him. So I said, I love you, but I'm going to do this the right way. And I can't depend on you. And I'm enabling you by allowing you to keep working and me paying you, and you're not getting any work done. So, and then I got a 13-year-old daughter, 14-year-old daughter now, excuse me. And so for me, money was, I would always try to spoil my family. Well, on a teacher's salary, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. And I went into a lot of debt. I'll be the first one to tell you, my dad and mom did really well in life, owning a lot of businesses and stuff. But they never. My dad's the most penny pinching guy you ever meet in your life. That's why he has what he has. He'll go to McDonald's and get a double cheeseburger and a water, not a bottle of water, a cup of water. He just does not get a combo because he's not going to spend that money. And he does that to the day at 72 years old. You know, he loaned. I got in a lot of debt. I was in over $50,000 debt in credit card debt. And my dad wrote me a $50,000 check to help get me out of debt. And I told him, I said, I'll have you this paid off in 2 years. I had him paid off in about a year and 3 months. And after that, I was able to get, I bought my wife, I splurged, you know, when I started making good money, I splurged and I bought my wife a Mercedes, paid for it. It's completely paid for. I bought myself a 2020 GMC. It's almost paid for. And then now my house is about a year from being paid for.
Awesome.
And I have no debt whatsoever, but I don't live extravagantly. I put up for the future, but I give back tenfold. One thing
Yeah.
our owner, Dominic Frazier, is about: faith, family, Frazier Roofing. That's our motto. Every job that I build, I give $250 for every house that I build back to a local charity or an organization. Every single job. So this year alone, we gave back over $40,000 to our community. And then that's not counting what I personally gave back, you know, on my own to schools or to this or that, you know, churches and just organizations, First Love Kids. I could go on and on with different organizations that will just call you and say, hey, is there any way? Absolutely. They just elected me to the Washington County, which is our county I live in, the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, which is great because now I get to meet all these new companies that are coming in. And you're going to be the first one to get to meet them when they come in wanting to build a place or whatever. So you might have first dibs on a roof, but the cool thing is you get to meet all these new business owners and all these big wigs at these big companies. And, you know, you get your name in the door for a company to, if they ever have any issues, you can let them know you can take care of them.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's awesome to see someone who's, you know, really consistent and that has you operate from obviously a large context of, you know, family and faith and giving back, and, you know, paying off that large debt in a year and 3 months took something from you, I'm sure. But also what I hear in that is like, I look at myself when I first started. I was selling windows, was the first time I started making money that I was like not used to, and I spent it
Mm-hmm.
all, and I didn't pay my taxes, and I got in debt, and it was like the whole, like, a really hard lesson to learn.
Right.
But what I also saw was I saw people come in, make a lot of money, and then leave, or like have a really good week, really bad week, really good year, really bad year. Do you think something that living large and living outside of yourself or others has you be more consistent? Is that, how important is that, would you say, to what you've seen and what your experience has been?
I say with my experience, it's all about faith. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and it's not that I'm a God, pound God on you type deal. But for me, it's about what I believe in. I'm not going to try to live above my means. I know I'm grounded. I know that what I need in life to survive. I know what I want for the future for my family. But I know that out of everything I'm going to give back, you know, what I bring in, I've got put back what I got my taxes put back on everything I put all my tax money up in a money market. It doesn't draw anything, but it's there for when right now, you know, there's a good chunk of money in there. So when I need to write Uncle Sam that check here in another month, I'm going to have it there to pay, and it's not going to affect my daily living. So my dad always taught me to be smart with money rather than getting in that debt one time. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, being grounded with that helped me a lot, learning about that. But just being humble. Again, can't say enough about it. Our owner helped me with my faith more than anything in the world, man. I've had two other people try to recruit me
Mm-hmm.
to come on board. I'm telling you right now, there's no way in a million years. I've told him I'm with him for life, and the way I made sure I told him I was with him for life is him and I opened up another company. We opened up Blocker Frazier Properties. So Dominic and I, we both started the company with $25,000 a piece. And now we own 6 properties, and we sell them, and we owner finance them at 7%, and we finance them for 20 to 25 years. We just become $1 million company in 6 properties this past sale last month.
Man,
So
that's
we
awesome.
buy and flip houses and owner finance them. So that's why I told him we're in it for life together. I'll never turn my back on him. He's a godly man. He does what he says he's going to do. He always gives back to his people.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't find a better person to work for.
That's awesome to hear. I recently had that same experience where it's like I found my group of people that we're all on the same page. We all work hard. We all like hanging out together. It's like, oh, we're all happy and fulfilled in what we're doing. right?
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my wife the other night and we were just, bullshitting, but I was like, I would, 5 years ago, I would have moved to New York for $1 million a year salary. No
Yeah.
questions asked. Now I would never do that. Like I kind of found my peace here. I might, make less money, but I'm happy. Like that's more important than money. And I think money gets in
That's
the
right.
people are messed up about money. And I didn't come into this conversation wanting to talk about money, but it's something that's
Yeah.
like people have issues with it. But I think if you do what you're doing, Robbie, and I see now why people were like, you got to talk with Robbie, you got to talk with Robbie, because you're a genuine guy who works hard. And what's happened is you've worked really hard, and you do what's right for you and your family, and it's leading to all these opportunities, consistent income that's probably more than you've made before in your life. And that's really the message like that we can get out to roofers today is like, look, man, but do you, right? Do what's in your heart and do a good job of it every single day. Take people along the ride with you. And if you're loyal and consistent, good things pan out, right? Luck happens to people who work really hard or something like that. Like if you work really hard and you do what's right, luck happens to people.
That's right.
And that's kind of what I see with you, man, is like you're on your path. It's clear. No one's going to mess with you and you're not going to mess with it. And that's probably why you've had the success and experience with Frazier that you've had. And the partnership with the new business is something that I think people will watch this and be like, oh, what's next for me? Because I'm kind of like at this point where I need something else new. What if I went to my boss or my best friend and we started something else together that's fun, fulfilling, and profitable?
Yeah. I was able to bring on a friend of mine, Scott Brady. He works for my Central Georgia office now. There's only two of us now. And I'm actually interviewing 6 guys this coming Tuesday because I'm just, I had 48 calls Monday and I just got COVID. So I'm actually out on a job and I'm in my truck with COVID working. So, just one of those deals, man. You got to do it. But Scott is one of these guys. He is a probation officer. He was making $42,000 a year, and he come on board. This is his. He's worked a year and a half. His first half year, he didn't make very much. Last year, he sold 600,000 in his first full year part time. But the coolest thing with Scott was we rode by a church, and it was a Nazarene church, and I said, "Google that church right there." I said, "You see all those shingles blown off?" He said, "All right, what you want me to do?" I said, "Call them." "What do you want me to say?" I said, "Give me the phone. Just listen." I called the pastor. I said, "Hey, we're in the neighborhood. I was going to see if you'd like a complimentary inspection. We see a lot of shingles blown off, and that's what we do is work with insurance companies to try to see if we can get you approved for a new roof." And he said, "Absolutely, come on back." Well, this guy was from Ireland, coolest accent in the world. And so we get up there, meet him, 158 square church, 200 shingles blown off, all kind of different places. They knew nothing about the insurance process. So we get them approved. Scott goes, "Man," he says, "what you gonna make on that?" I said, "What do you mean? What am I gonna make?" He says, what's the commission like on that?" I said, "I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "This is yours. You're riding with me today. I told you I'm going to train you. I want you to get that burning feeling inside of you that you want to help people. And you'll see the benefits from it, but you will also see what you're going to give back. You're going to give back $500 at this church when you make your commission." I said, "I want to see at least $500 of your commission. Just tithe it back and just give back to them." And I said, "You'll never know. I mean, it may be one other person call. It may be 10 other people call. It may be nobody. But I promise you, the feeling you're going to get out of it is going to be unbelievable." He made $4,000 something dollars. He ended up giving 1,000 back. He went above, and that made me know then what he was about. And that's now he's on his way. And so we are a great team down here.
I think what I'm pulling out of this conversation with you is the value of giving back. Like Frazier did it to you, right? He gave you that commission check and the referral check, and you were like, man, you had that experience of someone who was generous to you and could show you a way to provide for for your family like you really want to. And then you're giving it back to the new guy, right? Like it's a pay it forward sort of deal where you experienced it. You know what it's like to be given to, right? To be contributed to. And the Frazier had that feeling that you have now. Where you're like, man, this is cool. Like give back to your people, give back to your community, give back to the people that are loyal to you, that work hard. Like show them what it's like to be a generous business professional. It's like the best of all worlds, profit, and fulfillment.
Man, you can't outgive God. It's one thing I've found out. You cannot outgive God. I don't care what you give, man. You could give whatever. You could give your whole account on a Sunday. And if you have faith that you know that he's going to take care of you like he should, you'd be amazed at the amount of work you're going to have the following week that's going to bless you. So I truly believe that. I'm not one of those ones that just say it and and don't do it. I do it. I've been able to give more to my church than I've ever been able to give in my life. And it's not a brag. That's one of those things that I know why I do it and I know who I do it for. So
awesome, Robbie. Well, I'll let you go here. It's kind of close to the end of the hour. It's been an absolute privilege to hear your story and to speak with you. I know I'm super inspired by how you conduct yourself and how you do business. Have a great day. Crush it this year. And if we can ever do anything for you, just, please let us know.
good deal. Are y'all going to be at Win the Storm? I'm going to be speaking on and I've never done anything like this. This is the first time I've ever even talked to someone about, I mean, to be able to if it helps one person, man, just to change somebody's life. I mean, I appreciate you doing it. It means a lot to me.
Right back at you, man. Likewise, this is why we started. This was to celebrate roofers, inspire other roofers and other, professionals. So really great speaking with you, Robbie.
Sounds great, buddy.
Take care of yourself.